Hi, everyone. I hope you all have had a great week, and I welcome all of you to our weekly Communities of Practice Sunday check-in session, a half hour of Dharma, reflection, and community connections. If you are a new member of our community, please accept our wholehearted welcome to you. If you have any questions regarding our practices and topics, we are all here to help. It is customary for people in Australia to begin any meetings by acknowledging the traditional owners of our land. So in the spirit of reconciliation, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we work, study, and reside on, the Wodi people of the Darwin Nation. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people of today. And I also pay my respect to the traditional custodians of the various lands on which you all are. The Sunday check-in sessions have been developed by our Communities of Practice team and the entire community. The purpose of this session is to develop a reflective practice in response to changes. Guided by humanistic Buddhism, we'd like to cultivate our practices and to build memorable friendships. Thanks for the suggestions from Stevens and Warren. This new year, we put an overarching purpose for the first half-year sessions. Apart from the weekly topics, we'd like to invite you to ponder how we can connect our discussions and reflections to our daily lives. Last week, Dr. Remy Low guided us to practice with our eyes. This week, he will lead us to practice with our ears. So let's welcome Remy.
Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, dear friends, community, yeah, wherever you may be this morning or this evening or in the world, welcome to you. So we'll do a mindful check-in now, but again, like last week, we're going to try to do a mindful check-in that works with the theme of practicing with our ears. So first, I would like to invite all of you just to take 5 deep breaths. So what I find really helpful is to put one hand either on my stomach or on my chest or both. And as you breathe, close your eyes and take 5 deep breaths. Just notice your body expand as you breathe in. And your body contract as you breathe out. I invite you to just take 5 deep breaths in your own time. Feeling your body expand as you breathe in. Contract as you breathe out. Whenever you're ready, you can rejoin us briefly. And I'll return you to your deep breathing in just a moment. But for what we're going to do next, I invite you to keep breathing, of course, please. But I'd like you all to, in a moment, if you're wearing headphones, take off your headphones. And what I'd like everyone to do is notice any background noises wherever you are, wherever you're sitting in your room or in your house or wherever you are, just to notice any background noises. So if you're wearing headphones, in a moment, I'm going to invite you to take them off. And I want you to focus on just one sound in your environment. Choose something that you usually ignore, that you don't even notice is there, or that you find boring or even annoying in the space that you're in. So I invite you to do this and close your eyes and to take 5 more deep breaths and just to focus on one sound that you may not have heard of, you may not have noticed before. I'll see you back here in 5 breaths. Okay, I invite you to rejoin us if you've taken your 5 breaths. I wonder what sound did you notice that maybe you hadn't noticed before? And how would you describe the sound? I'll leave that for your discussions, and I'm very interested to hear what people noticed when they paid attention to the sounds around them. But to talk about practicing without ears, I'll start with a story about me, because I'm usually an example of what not to be. So I'll talk about me. Thank you, Xiaomeng. So let me talk about my practice in daily life. So like many of you, I subscribe to Spotify. Okay, I love my Spotify. That's a screenshot from my Spotify account. And when before I used to go to when I am going to work, I will listen to my Spotify. Okay, all my favorite music. Some of you who know me know I really like hip hop. I really like hip hop, and the music is very energetic and exciting, which is great. I think music is a wonderful blessing. But one thing I noticed was that I listen to music that I love, that gets me excited, that gets me, happy and energized. And I write at work. Many of you know I work as a teacher at the university. And at the university, I have lots of students. Okay, Xiaomeng, if you click, you might see some students at the university that I work at, this one here. And the students often want to come and talk to me about things that they're going through, difficulties they're having with assignments, and so on. And I noticed something about me. I noticed that because I've been so excited and I've been listening to music that's so stimulating to me, I find myself sometimes getting quite bored when the students interrupt me to talk to me when I arrive at work. Sometimes they'll tell me about what's happening in their life or their assignments, things, difficulties they're having with assignments. And I find myself being quite distracted because I think to myself, oh, this is a bit boring. I'd rather be listening to my favorite music. Now, I guess over time, I've started to realize that like the eyes, like many of our lives, with our ears, we tend to discriminate with our ears. We tend to be attracted to certain things and desire certain things and desire certain sounds that stimulate, positive certain types of emotions in us. And we tend to be averse to sounds that make us feel unhappy or annoyed. And oftentimes we get bored at many types of sounds that we hear in life. Why practice with our ears? Well, one reason to practice with our ears is that it trains our attention and concentration. According to the Japanese monk Ryonosuke Koike, we should practice with our ears and paying attention to the sounds around us so that we're not always just attracted to things that are highly stimulating. He says, make it a habit instead not to rely on sounds that are highly stimulating. Be alert and don't ignore your surroundings. Pay attention to the different subtle sounds in your surroundings. Yes, Spotify is great, like I enjoy my Spotify, but don't always be plugged into your Spotify. Pay attention to sounds. Why? Because if you've been paying attention to all the subtle sounds around you before you start a conversation, before someone talks to you, you'll be in a focused frame of mind and ready to listen carefully to what the other person has to say. Because your ears and your mind are not just attached to sounds that make you excited or make you feel highly stimulated. So to pay attention to sounds is to train our attention and our concentration. Point number 2, why train our attention and concentration? Is to cultivate an open heart and open mind. We discriminate with our ears all the time. We like certain things and don't like certain things. But Master Xingyun teaches us that that's actually a very bad habit. He says our ears are like radios. As the saying goes, good medicine tastes bitter, honest advice is unpleasant to the ears. So generally people like to hear praise or listen to pleasant music, but they would feel dismayed at receiving honest advice from their friends. Again, you see, we're not used to practicing with our ears, so we discriminate. We choose the things we want to hear, and we try to push away the things we don't want. And as a result, we become bad at listening to feedback. So to practice with our ears is to also cultivate an open mind and open heart to all sounds that we may hear as feedback to us, according to Master Xingyun. Thank you, Xiaoming. So to summarize the last 2 weeks practicing with our ears and with our eyes, Master Xingyun quotes an old famous saying, the sounds of the rippling creek are all words of the Buddha. All the sounds are words of the Buddha. And the mountain scene is none other than the body of the Dharma. I'll leave you to ponder that very profound saying. So I invite you now in your discussions to have a chat about the following questions. Do you find yourself bored and distracted when listening to some people? I invite you to be honest. Do you find it difficult to listen to feedback from others? Do we discriminate about the types of feedback we hear? And how do you practice more attentive and open listening? I look forward to the discussion.
Thank you, Remy, for reminding us that practice with our ears could not only train our attention and concentration, but also help us cultivate an open heart mind. And now we are invited to contemplate and discussing those questions. We will be placed in groups of 3 to 4 to share and discuss. And in the discussion, we do recommend you spending some time to get to know about each other and then discussing our questions. There will be some Zoom notifications to guide you, but feel free to let the flow of your discussions guide you. Our sessions are guided by metta, which is unconditional love and kindness for all sentient beings. Let's use these breakout sessions to express and receive loving kindness to and from one another, and take time to pause, share, and listen. We'll also ask you to share some of your findings with the larger group at the end of the breakout discussion. So now let's go to our breakout rooms for rich and nourishing discussions. See you all back in 15 minutes.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I hope everyone had a nice chat about practicing with the ears. Easy, difficult, challenging. Any tips from the pros? We would love to hear. So please share your wisdom, share your experiences, your challenges, your difficulties, your victories, small victories, however. Please, we'd love to hear. So please put it on the chat, and this will be a blessing to the community. Communities of practice. I wonder whose account that is. That could be anyone at this point. To question 3, how do we listen better to more attentively and more openly? Listen silently, mindfully, and empathy. SME. Open listening, attentive attention, with opening the heart and readiness to help. I like that. Kind of listening with a readiness to help as a way of paying attention. Bruce, it's another practice that reinforces the value of mindfulness practice indeed, mindful listening. Priscilla, in our group, Jinlan mentioned Thich Nhat Hanh's listening by saying, "Darling, I'm here for you." And Stephen often reminds us, listen to understand, not to intervene. Yes, a big lesson that I had to learn as well, not to be a mansplainer, not to be naturally a problem. I want to have to solve everyone's problems, but just to actually be part of the solution by listening. Very, very helpful. Phyllis, use of the ears is important, hence I often use be, do, and have in my interactions with others. Be, being in the moment and being with the person that you're with, not on your phone. That's the big one, don't be on your phone. Do, be present, and therefore have a positive impact and influence can be cultivated. Awesome. Stacey, reword what they're saying. Creative writing in your mind. Write their words into a lyric. Remy, oh yeah, I can write their words into my favorite hip hop Spotify songs, perhaps. Katya, connecting to a heart of a speaker and listening through the noise of the ego. Theirs and yours, and staying with the messages of the heart. Thank you, Katya. Listening to what is not being said, Christine. Wonderful, listening subtly. May, good intention, feedback is helpful. Oh my, it's all coming hard and fast. Please keep it up because we will have an extended conversation after this for those of you who are free to join us. Please keep it coming. We'll collect all this. The poster team will collect all this and share this wisdom out with the community so that everyone can practice with their ears more deeply and more attentively. But now I should hand it back to the boss of the session, Xiaomen, to close.
Okay, thank you, Remy. We really hope the check-in session was helpful to you, and we hope you experienced the unconditional love and compassion of this community. But for anyone who might be experiencing a greater need than what today could meet, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. And you can also reach out to the professional organizations on the screen. As we check out today, let's recite the dedication of merit together to send love and compassion to whoever is in need.
Let us now dedicate the goodness of what you have done to all living beings. May kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. May we cherish and build affinities to benefit all beings. May Chan, Pure Land, and precepts inspire equality and patience. May our gratitude and humility give rise to great vows.
So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you Priscilla and Remy for leading the April sessions, which remind us to listen to our body and be alert to the little things that we usually ignore. Next week, Priscilla will be introducing May sessions with friendship to kick off 1 month only of a surprise new format, and 4 friends from this community will speak each week. Now we will have our usual post check-in discussions, so please stay around if you have time. Otherwise, see you all again next Sunday at 11 a.m. And please remember to practice with our ears in our daily lives. Thank you.